Hello everybody, Namaskaram and welcome to Varsha's Nutri Life. Today is day 3 of Navarathri and I've made field bean sundal. It's called mocha kotai. I've made the dry form. I've soaked it overnight. We don't get the fresh one here in Canada, so this is the dried one. It's been a long time that I ate this, so this is the sundal for today. And being day 3, it's the color red today because we pray to Goddess Durga today. So on day 3, it's red because the Devi Parvati or Devi Durga, she also adorns a red color sari in this form of incarnation. And today I'm going to narrate the story behind why Navarathri is celebrated in the way it is from day 1 to day 9, the story of the Navadurgas. It's 3 days into Navarathri, so I'm going to combine day 1, 2 and 3. So it's very interesting that all the 3 days the story is interlinked. So we begin with day 1. Day 1 we celebrated it for Devi Shailiputri. So for this incarnation as well, there is a backstory. So I'll start with that. So the story starts with King Daksha, and he had a daughter named Devi Sati. Now Devi Sati was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva and she wished to marry him someday. With her constant prayers and devotion, she falls in love with Lord Shiva and she tries to convince her father that she would like to marry him and she would like to live her life with him. Now, due to some circumstance, some reason, King Daksha didn't have a very good opinion on Lord Shiva. So he shows his displeasure and does not approve of Sati Devi to marry Shiva. In spite of this, she disobeys her father and go ahead and marry Shiva. Now she is happily married and she moves to Kailash Parvat. In Kailash Parvat, she is leading a good life with Lord Shiva. And one day, back in her hometown, the king organizes a very grand yajna wherein he invites all his relatives, family members, all his friends to attend the yajna. Devi Sati, she comes to know about this yajna and she feels very sad. Why my own father has not invited me for this kind of an event. She goes to Shiva and she says, there's a grand yajna hosted by my father and everybody is invited. Maybe I should go and have a look and meet my mother and relatives. I long to go back home. But Lord Shiva is not very happy with this because he feels it might not go very well or there's something doesn't feel right. Even though Shiva is not approving of this, she goes in spite of that to meet her father and her relatives. Now when she goes to her hometown, as expected, things didn't go well. Her family did not welcome her, they did not honor her presence in the yajna. The only person who looked out for her was her mother. But in spite of her mother consoling her, Devi Sati feels very bad that her own father shamed her in front of her relatives and family, and she's very disheartened. So in the course of time, she just jumps into the fire in that sadness that her own father did this, even though she came all the way to meet him. Now the news that she jumped into the fire and sacrificed her life, this news reaches Lord Shiva and he is extremely angry and he is totally upset that he lost his dear wife just because of her father's arrogant nature. Now he decides to come to his kingdom and totally just annihilate the yajna and punish King Daksha, and he does that. So by doing that, Daksha is not able to perform the yajna and he dies. Now when Sati Devi immolates herself, she has this strong desire that even in the coming birth, I want to marry Shiva, but I want to be blessed with a very good father who approves of my devotion and who accepts Shiva as my husband. So this strong desire, she jumps into the fire and she gives up her life. So this is the story of Devi Sati. So now she is born to the king of the mountains. king of the Himalayas, in the incarnation of Shailiputri. That's where the name comes from. Shaila means mountains, Putri means daughter. So Shailiputri is daughter of the god of mountains. So the god of mountains, his name is Himavat. So Himavat and Menavati, they have a daughter and her name is Shailiputri. Now Shailiputri also is someone, she turns out to be an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva. And then as she grows up, she has a chance to meet with Narada Muni. So he says that I know about your past birth, I know how you have given up your life and what happened. In this birth also, you have a good chance to marry the same person in this birth also. When she hears that, she is really happy because in the previous birth she wanted to live a life with Shiva, but it didn't go well. In this life she has got an opportunity. But when she hears that from Narada, she goes to Brahma and she asks him, okay, is this true? Would I still be able to marry Lord Shiva? It would be very blissful if I do that. So Lord Brahma says, it's not that easy, because in the past Shiva lost his wife in such a manner. He is into deep penance. No one can disturb him because he's been in tapas for so many hundreds of years. And maybe if you also do the penance and show your devotion to Lord Shiva, he might oblige and accept you as your wife. Now once she hears that, she at once decides to go and struggle and do the penance so that she can attain that life with Shiva. So many thousands of years she does the penance. She lives on only fruits and vegetables and leaves. She sleeps on the ground. She tolerates the harsh climate change difficulties during this period. But even though she is going through so much, she feels no one is observing or there is no outcome. There is no outcome, not in the negative way, in the sense that she wants to please Shiva so desperately that she is ready to go through that. And at one point, her body is totally fragile. She is just completely weak in her final stages, and she just cries out to Brahma that, oh Brahma, you told me that the penance will give me a fruitful result, and I want to impress Shiva, and I really want to marry him and attain this life. So Brahma immediately appears in front of her, and he is in complete awe of her dedication. He says, I have not seen anyone do this kind of tapas and devotion, undivided attention to attain Lord Shiva. Whatever you have done is something very, very great. Definitely Shiva is going to accept your prayers. And this news reaches Shiva that there is a person, there is a goddess who is named as Bhramacharini. This is what the day 2 story is about. So Shailiputri is born and she grows up and she does the tapas. This is in the form of Brahmacharini, and Shiva comes down to her and accepts her as her devotee, and he agrees to marry her. So we move from Shailiputri to Brahmacharini. Now he is agreed to marry her, and the king of the Himalayas, Himavat, is very happy that okay, their daughter has, with so much of difficulty, she has attained what she wants. They fix a grand wedding, everything is set. They just want the divine ceremony to go on very well. And for some reason, on the day of marriage, when all of the guests have arrived, there are so many ghosts and agoris and so many negative shaktis that have arrived in the wedding, which the people of the kingdom didn't expect, nor Shiva and Parvati expected this. Seeing these demons and asuras and all the negative energy, Shiva is aggravated or provoked to take a very, very terrific form. It's a horrible form that no one wanted to see that form. It is completely covered with white powder and animal skin. He is in a very gory manner. So looking at this, the guests are all totally shocked. What is this? Who is Parvati going to marry? What is going on? Why he has changed into this terror look? and so many guests are just returning that we don't want to attend this wedding. We are so scared. I don't know what's going to happen. We just want to go back home. Looking at all the commotion, Menavati, that is Parvati's mother, she just loses her consciousness and faint and fall down because such a terror outlook Shiva is having, and it's a daughter's wedding. They're expecting it to go well, and it's just turning into a haphazard situation. So Parvati is very conscious that what is happening. My mom is like this, all the guests are leaving. Let me do something to please Shiva. Let me do some prayers, and let me take a form which would soothe Shiva and drive away all these negative gories and devils and ghosts who have come to disturb the wedding. So she takes the incarnation of Devi Chandraganta. So that is the third incarnation, which is day 3. So Devi Chandraganta, she is riding on a lion, and she appears in a red color sari, and her skin is so shiny, it's glistening in gold color, and she's having 10 arms. All of the arms are having one weapon, some or the other weapon, and her one arm is having, out of the 10 arms, 8 arms are having weapons and all the powerful weapons, and in one she is blessing her devotees, and in the other hand she has a lotus. She rides on a lion. Now I think in North India a lot of people pray to this picture wherein there's a Durga Mata is seated on a lion, and they believe a lot in Durga. So in this form, when she appears and she persuades Shiva, and she convinces him that this is a very good gore attire that he has taken, and it is not good. She pleases him with her prayers, and she is blessed with a divine power to just drive away all these negative evil power which has come to her that wedding. So that is why on day 3 we pray to Goddess Chandraganta, because she has the power to just remove all the negativity and to just drive away anything that fears us, or anything which is terror or terrific which scares us. And she in this form was able to convince Shiva, and she just pleads to him that just don't do this on your wedding day. Come as a handsome prince. We have to go ahead with the wedding ceremonies. This is not a good thing. I have driven away all the nonsense demons and all of them who wanted to disturb our wedding. They are all gone. I'll also change my form. You too please change it, and then let's get married. So by looking at this form of Parvati, Shiva is very pleased. It's so cooling and soothing to the eyes. Her beautiful attire and her glistening golden skin, and she has a Chandra shape, like a moon shape. That's what gives her the name Chandraganta. So this is the story of day 3, and Lord Shiva and Parvati are happily married, and this is just a continuation, like day 1, 2, 3 are all interlinked. So this is how she is born as Shailiputri, she does the penance as Bhramacharini, and now she is in the form of Chandraganta. I hope Devi Durga and Chandraganta bless you with all the positive energy that you need in your life, and drive away all the negativity that is pulling you down. I wish you all a very happy Navarathri.